Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PS4. Last Chance, Part 2. Now, one more mission we're going to do. This one's the hunting mission, but it's going to take a while. Yeah, so I might as well. Remember, I can't leave this. I can't leave this area, unfortunately. And don't get me started on that. Progress. Story. Yep, still in Chapter 1, obviously. View story progress and replay missions. Yes, if I want to redo that again, I can. I'm not really interested, frankly. I can't imagine spending another half hour trying to do another video trying to set up these particular missions. I might end up doing that later. We'll see how it goes. I already did the old friends mission, which basically involved me holding down the X button for 10 minutes before the... Basically, as soon as I walk into the house that starts the mission, I have to hold down the X button for 10 minutes before I'm in position, I'm ready to begin the next shootout. I timed it. It was like 7-8 minutes. This is the crap I'm talking about. So let's do this hunting mission. It'll probably take me 10 minutes to get to the actual hunting grounds. Great. Let me do a quick audio check. Sorry, I forgot to actually fix that audio setting. Dialogue balance. That's good enough. Everything else is perfectly suitable, I'd say. And yes, I'm on a headphone setup. We'll pretend that matters at this point. Who needs a Dolby 8.1 setup when you got good headphones? $30 headphones.
For what? 10, 12 people? I was in the Navy. I do not wish to hear about what you got up to in the Navy, Mr. Pierce.
Skip. Yeah, this Kanan Lynch looking dude right here. Sorted, salted, awful. So we're gonna... I can't use the cinematic mode yet. There we go. Hold down the trackpad. Now we're gonna hold down the X button to keep up with the horse. See, match speed with a companion by holding or tapping the X button while riding near them. A horse's stamina will not drain while matching their speed. That's fantastic. So, time me. Will I get there? Will I get to the hunting grounds in less than 5 minutes? Probably. I don't know. Again, the game is masking load times, probably. So I guess what the game's implying is that if there were a fast travel system, it would take 5 minutes to load the area where we actually ended up fighting. Or maybe, to be more realistic, it might have taken 4 minutes to load the area and all the assets. And then it would have taken another minute and a half to walk from outside the camp to the actual location where we were supposed to hide and cover and sneak up on the O'Driscolls in that previous video. You know, the old Friends video. But again, as I see this, my impression is that, again, they know the load times are bad, but they want to mask them by using this opportunity to present a story. But what they're doing is it's just a walk and talk. So I'm just sitting here holding down the X button because, again, there's no meaningful decision to be made here. I can't deviate from the path, otherwise I'm going to fail the mission. If I walk away from my companion here, I'm going to fail the mission right away, and the game will load me at the next checkpoint. Or load me at my last checkpoint, anyway. We'll just keep doing this for the next, 4 or 5 minutes. Again, the game looks great. It's just, Skyrim looks good too. I mean, there's nothing. These PS4 games look perfectly fine. God of War, Spider-Man, this game. Skyrim obviously looks good on the remastered version they got out, the special edition. All these games look fine. It's just that Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn look very good too. It's just that those games have better pacing than this game does. That's the thing that hurts. But again, this is a AAA game for people who might buy 2 or 3 games a year. So maybe you buy this game, or you buy Call of Duty, or you buy Grand Theft Auto 5, and that is the game you play. Maybe you played Skyrim and got bored in an hour. Maybe you got Death Stranding and walked away from it in an hour. Maybe you don't want to play Nier Automata because it looks like that anime crap you hate. I get that. But I think this is a game for people who, they want to be cowboys. They're not interested in playing, numbers games. They want to play something like, there are numbers under the hood in this game, obviously. I can't skip this. And I can't. Yeah, I can run. You'll track them on foot. Oh wait, forgot to get my bow. Sorry. Let's go back and get my bow. I'm still in the cinematic mode, obviously. Horse weapons. L1. Let's see. Select the long arms with the right stick. Use L2 or R2 to select the bow, and I got the bow. No point setting off without a bow. Let's get that deer. We'll crouch later. We're nowhere near the stop running, he says. Don't make so much noise. L1. Yeah, we have detective mode. L3 and R3. R1 to focus on the track. So on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, though, it tells me how close I am to my target. But I'm nowhere near the target, so let's just run up here till we get to our destination. Then we'll press the left L3 button to crouch. You know, let's creep up on. Put that away. Get rid of that. R3? No. What is it? L1? Yeah, L1 to put the gun away. The deer is somewhere over here. L3 and R3. He's over there. Get rid of that. There he is.
There they are.
This might be close enough. L1, equip the bow. L2 to ready the arrow. R2 to draw the string. Katniss. Okay, so we're going to hunt another deer. I can only hold two because I can hold one deer on my horse and my companion can hold the other deer, but there are 3 deer around here. I think he's over there. He's over there somewhere. Give me a second. Yeah, there. Over there. So we'll sneak around them. So I'll pick up that other deer in a second. We'll sneak around the tree. We'll get a little bit closer. See, again, good looking game. Good looking environmental assets. Good water effects. Good game. Good looking game. It's everything else that sucks. Well, the voice acting's pretty good. So I'll give it that. The writing's probably okay. Got him! And he's off. When close, study and able to discover information on it, and it's blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. Let's just pick up this one. He'll pick up the other one, I guess. Got my arrow back. Square. How do I pick it up? They want me to hunt down the other one too? It's enough deer. Come on. Where does that complicate things? How far away was that deer, by the way? I know I killed it. Where'd it go? Oh man, I can't find the carcass. Whoop, there he is. Holla. There was more than one.
You pick up one, I'll get the other. You sure your hand's okay?
Yeah, you better run. Last Mohicans. Yeah. Next. Whistle for, yeah, hold down up on the D-pad. And he'll come running eventually. This isn't like Saints Row 4 with a car, or Agents of Mayhem where the car eventually shows up in less than 5 seconds. So the frame rate seems to be jostling between 30 frames per second on my animation and 15 frames a second on the tree swaying in the wind. Because remember, this is a base PS4. Here we go. So I can hold down the X button to jog a little bit up to my horse. Remember, I can only fit one of these on my horse at a time. Hold the square button down to stow the deer on the trunk. Put a little junk on that trunk. How do I soothe the horse? Triangle? Or I guess I could lead him. Just a second. Let's get off the horse. We'll lead him a little bit. Triangle? No. How do I lead the horse? Do I hold down the triangle button? Oh, L2. Probably L2. Get off the horse. L2. So his name is Tennessee Walker. Study. Can't pat him. I'm going to study my horse, show the info, so I can see what his stats are, I guess. See, there are stats in this game. So I guess we're going to be playing, what is that? My Riding Stables, My Life with Horses. That other PS4 game I have like 5 videos on. Well, it's a lot less pretentious than this. I mean, I was joking that I stopped playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and started playing that horse game, that stable game instead. I mean, it was a terrible game. It was objectively worse than this game. The control's even worse for that game than it is in this game. But hey, at least it has some, you know, not terrible resource management stuff. Okay, we're going. Cinematic camera, and we're going to hold down the X button. So yeah, that was a whole lot of nothing. Again, not a lot of payoff. A lot of setup, not a lot of payoff. So once we get back to camp, we'll skin this deer, and we'll finish the mission. Though I'm not sure we're going to be able to save our game. So hopefully I'll be able to save my game before the deer gets skinned. Oh yeah, there's going to be a part coming up here with a bar. So yeah, even if we wanted to fight the bear, we probably can't. So again, we're going to wander around here for 5 minutes following the river. Then eventually we'll be able to save our game, I guess. Well, there'll probably be a waypoint over by the bear, because, you know, there's an actual fail state if you agitate the bear. Left on the D-pad for the log. Whoops. I lost the cinematic view. So I have to held down the trackpad and I can see the map, huh? I'm not paying attention to anything you're saying, dude. Cinematic camera. Hold down the X button. Well, like I said, you can't skip this. I don't know what to tell you. Normally, we hold down the X button to skip pre-rendered cutscenes. Well, they aren't pre-rendered. They're in-engine, obviously. But the walk and talk like this, can't skip it at all. And again, I don't mind video games when they start rolling the story in with the traversal. But of course, there's the obvious problem where if you're going to do dialogue-based cutscenes during traversal, you have to... the traversal route you take has to be long enough so that you don't skip the storytelling elements, because the game developers, the director, they want you to experience the story, so they don't want you to skip it. But of course, I prefer the way Saints Row 3 and 4 did it, where you were traversing from one end of the city to the other, and that was where the game does the storytelling bits. Agents of Mayhem did a bit of that, but the obvious problem was there was too much driving around from point A to point B to point C to point D every time you had to do a story mission, so that was kind of annoying. There's the bear. I was hoping the camera would change at some point. So we're going to avoid the bear eventually. Get rid of that. L1. Put it away. Cinematic camera. Fine. Double tap the X button. Now I'm holding down the X button on the second tap, but again, we can't go that fast. Because again, the game is throttling us. A lot of throttling going on in these games. Hold L3 to calm it. That's how you do it. So hold L3 to pat your horse, calm it down. That should increase your bonding with the horse.
How long you been with us now? 5, 6 months?
Which is kind of what I'm doing now. I'm just holding down the L3 button. No, the left stick. So we're taking the long route around the bear because, you know, we can't be bothered. This isn't Skyrim. We aren't trying to fight bears with guns just yet. I guess we have our own narrative-based encumbrance mechanic where we're like, yeah, we're not going to shoot the bear because we can't fit it on our horse. Or we're not going to drag it behind us like a human being either, which I think is kind of amusing.
I'm done with it. Always wondering if someone's gonna kill you in your sleep. I still wonder that most nights.
I guess we figure we have enough meat. We don't need any more meat from a bear.
Sure, I could fall in with another gang, but Dutch. You know, Dutch is different.
And I've said this before. There's a bunch of this going on where, yeah, despite this dynamic cinematic cameras they do all the time, you almost never see any of the characters' faces, except during those specific cutscenes that you can't skip. But most of the game is just this. It's a bunch of characters in the distance. You can't see their mouths move. You can't see any of their facial expressions. It's just a bunch of this. And again, that takes away from the storytelling because it makes the game feel like a radio play. Like I said, this is machinima. The motion capture is pretty significant, obviously. But then you realize that again, the character models aren't that good. So unless you actually sit down and watch all the actual, you know, dialogue sequences that take place within, like, you know, not these walk and talk dialogue sequences, but the ones back at the camp. Those very few sequences where you actually do see characters' faces, you're not going to see that very much. And it was pretty bad, where it was like, apparently I was skipping the cutscenes too much, so I didn't even know what the characters' names were. And again, in other games, that's not a problem. In Saints Row 4, I knew who all the characters were less than 10 minutes into the game, because they introduced me to all of them. And they were distinct. Here, I mean, obviously, you know, they're in the snow, you know, but again, all these distant camera angles take away from that emotional connection you would have to those characters, because you can't see them. I knew who most of the characters were in Skyrim early on, because the game introduced you to them, at least from a somewhat reasonable distance. But here again, you're basically just looking at characters' backs, you're looking at their profiles, you're not really able to see them. So that's kind of disappointing. So you're going to have to commit to actually, you know, watching those cutscenes. But even then, when I was watching the cutscenes, you never got that many close-ups there either. So that was disappointing. You have to hold down the triangle button hit for horse. So you can kind of see his face here. But you have to kind of move the camera into position. Can I save my game here? Probably not. Nope, won't let me save the game here either. So again, where do I save my game? This is kind of annoying. Yeah, the game won't let me save here either, will it? Nope. Gotta complete this mission. Let's see if it lets me skip. Remove the deer. Gimme. Venison for everyone. Well, not veal. Well, venison and, well, yeah, not veal. Drop it. Drop it like it's hot. See, let's see how tight the camera angles are here. They're going to be a lot tighter here. That's the black Native American dude right there. I don't even know his name.
Keeps you sane, it does. Yeah, seems to have done.
So if you want to see these characters' faces, you have to sit through these cutscenes. You're not going to be able to see them during the cinematic camera sequences. So I guess the compromise they made is that if you're in these tight shots right here, you're not going to be able to see much of the environment. The environmental detail is limited. But here, you don't get to see their faces because they're spending most of their budget, their polygon budget, showing the environment. Put on the triangle. Wait, I don't want to skin the deer yet. Just a second. I didn't want to skin the deer, but I'm stuck. Yeah, I should have saved my game. I probably can't even save my game anyway, so it's an autosave. Efficient.
Not too bad, Mr. Morgan. Yeah.
Well, we said you were a butcher. So when can I save my game? Probably not yet. Because the game's going to make me do the walk and talk to the,
It's been a bad few weeks.
Yeah, the game's going to make me do the walk and talk until I get to the train section. Here we go. So that's my next game save. Okay, so we're good. We're doing better now. I feel better. So I guess now I can skip to the next story mission, right? Because I don't have a choice. I can't skip this.
He is busy making plans, and Dutch being Dutch, those plans involve robbery and dreams.
I saw the hitching. You can't fool me, Rockstar.
Well, I thought you was reading him his last rites. Now I see you're introducing him to your other passion.
I'll mind you to show me some respect, Mr. Morgan.
Mind away,
The music's really loud. So I can get that cinematic camera going. This is going to be a long trip. Double tap X to move up the formation, or double tap R. Again, this is kind of weirdly complicated. Hold down the trackpad for the cinematic camera. We'll just hold down the button. Time me. We'll see how long it time me. We're going to see how long it takes for us to actually get to our destination. So basically, after gathering the deer, which was the last important decision I made, which was actually shooting the deer, everything else has just been on autopilot or on rails. So there's going to be maybe 3 minutes of legitimate gameplay in this video. And then we're going to end the video when we actually get to our destination, because we're about to get to the train section. So yeah, I'm curious how long this is going to take. There's going to be a loading screen pretty shortly. Because we're going to be out of the snow, we're going to be out of the snow, I want to say. You can't really hear the dialogue because the music's too loud. I have to lower the volume. Let's do a check. Audio. Let's lower the dialogue balance. Okay, we'll do a check. See how loud it is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lower that. So there's never gonna be a good balance, is there? Score volume. Okay, that's the problem. I gotta lower the score volume. Because it's way too loud right now. I think we can all agree this game's story is probably better than Silverado. Okay, I saw the TV version. That thing was mediocre. Like I made a promise last year I was gonna watch more westerns, so I started the year by watching Silverado and some other, I don't remember what it was called. It was such a nondescript western. How do I describe it? It was about a Civil War group stuck in the desert trying to get to some water, and they come across a Native American kid, and they have to they have to use what little water they have left, keeping this kid from dying of thirst, that kind of thing. I forgot what the movie was called. I guess it was pretty nondescript. And they were. What's really weird is that they were showing the searchers on that Charge, and there's an antenna channel called Charge, and they were showing the searchers a couple of months ago, and I swear they must have had like a commercial break every 5 minutes. It's almost as if every scene ended with a commercial break. And I put it on my DVR, so I'm curious how much I'm going to have to cut out of that DVR just so I can watch the rest of the movie. That's terrible. Could you imagine having 5 minutes of commercials, then showing a 5-minute, scene from that movie, then cutting to another commercial break right after that? I really need to see this. I mean, that's essential, right? That's an essential Western. What is it? Searchers, Oklahoma, and one other movie. The Edge of the Wolves is later. What other John Wayne Western shot? Of course, Clint Eastwood did a bunch I need to watch. Like, what is it? Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Gotta watch that. There was The Man with No Name. Whatever. But Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Yeah. Magnificent Seven. That's another one. Of course, I only saw the ending of that. Wild Bunch. Gotta watch the Wild Bunch. But there are a bunch of Westerns I should have saw last year, and Searchers is a movie that I rented from Netflix, I want to say about 2 decades ago, and I never watched it. And they have it at the library, obviously, I haven't gotten around to it.
You want to head down, see how he's getting on? Okay.
Fine. Again, we can't really skip this, can I? Can't save my game here. There's going to be a waypoint up here, obviously. We'll end the video when we get to the actual the train robbery, because again, we're not gonna make any meaningful decisions for at least another 10 minutes. Like I said, a whole lot of setup, not a lot of payoff. Yeah, now I'm in the cinematic camera. So let's hold down the X button. Okay, hurry up, horse. Hurry up, T'Challa. There it is. Yo.
I'm okay. You sure? Of course. Can I help a little? All right. Go ahead. Set up the detonator by this rock. Okay, sure. Now just unspool the wire and then attach it to said detonator.
Like I said, not a meaningful choice here. Just, an extended cutscene. Turn off the cinematic camera. Again, eventually you get to a part where you actually can fail, which is weird because I held down the run button and then I wound up dying. So we'll get to that later. Back to wire.
Okay.
When can I save my game? I can't save my game. Fine. Hold down the X button, hold down the triangle button to get on my horse. Hold down the L3 button to calm my horse, right? Yeah, that's good enough. See, I'm increasing my bond. Is there a fail state here if I do nothing? Probably a fail state. We're going to go back up the mountains. We have to double tap the X button. See, like I said, real good looking assets. Real good looking game.
What's going on? He says all fine. We'll soon find out.
On that base PS4. I have to go over here. I have to get into place. So we'll end the video very shortly. That might be a good place to end the video right here. I can't save my game, can I? I can't save my game, can I? Nope. So we'll stop the video here.